huge news for the employed. Now, I'm a little tired of slop tubers, don't get me wrong. Love watching their content, but, they don't put out bangers like Nick Fuentes or Hassan. Anyways, we're gonna watch someone today that is well versed in game theory. No, not Matt Pat.
In this class this semester, I'm making three big predictions, right? First is that Trump will win in November. Second is that the United States will go to war against Iran. And the third big prediction is that the United States will lose this war, which will forever change the global order.
So this is Professor Zhang. He runs the channel PredictiveHistory, and out of all the stuff I've been having to needlessly scroll through on YouTube, I feel like his videos, have some substance to them. I would say, if nothing else, are relevant to what's happening today. So I've seen a few of his videos, and they're interesting. I think they're fun. If I had this guy as a teacher in history class, I feel like I would have paid way more attention than I did. I don't want to be Joe Rogan, right, and praise someone like Terrence Howard, right, saying he's the utmost genius in this field, right? But I do think what he's talking about, what he predicts, is very interesting, and if nothing else, once again, an educated guess on the matters, right?
The United States military is not designed to fight a 21st century war. Remember, the military-industrial complex came to being after World War II, and it was designed to fight the Cold War. And the Cold War was really about muscle flexing, about who was able to send people up into space, who was the first to get the person on the moon, who had the more complex missile systems. And so the entire American military strategy revolves around very sophisticated technology that costs a lot of money to build. And that's what the American air defense system is basically. And that's why we're seeing this asymmetry, as you point out, in this war, where you have these $1 million missiles trying to take out these $50,000 drones. And it's not sustainable in the long term.
I don't know what it is. It's refreshing to see someone other than like Fuentes or Hassan or Slop Tuber discussing these topics, right? Because realistically, you don't see those political commentators talk about things to this degree, and you don't see slop tubers talk about this because it's pretty complex. I mean, I'm a sucker for educational content, and I'm sure there's a lot of other people that are too. So I'd like to just put this on other people's radars, have them, comment, talk to me about what you do or don't agree with. This is something that I think is interesting. Who's to say no one else does, right?
The U.S. military maintain very standard military doctrine. Okay, they maintain three very important principles that all militaries must maintain in a time of war. The first is mass forces. B is avoid encirclement, right? And the third is protect supply lines.
Now, to further show that he is, in fact, Baba Vanga, this video was uploaded a few months before Trump was elected. In all seriousness, you could come to these conclusions yourself, right? But I think the way he discusses them and goes into detail as to why he thinks these things are above the threshold for what the average person thinks about when they think about the U.S. going to war.
In 2003, the U.S. military changed its military doctrine to one of shock and awe. Okay? And what shock and awe means is that you don't have to follow these three principles anymore. You can use air supremacy. You also have technological omniscience. And you also have special forces. And this allows you to fight wars cheaply, quickly, and decisively so that you no longer need public political support for fighting wars. And as we also discussed, this created the idea of hubris. in the American military.
Now, you may be thinking, "Hey, you're a history buff." Okay, hold on. Stop bringing human psychology into this. Um, I think when he discusses hubris, right, it's relevant. I think it holds water actually, and while it might be something less historical and more like psychoanalytical, he does provide evidence or an example.
So this has happened before in history. When the Athenians invaded Sicily and lost to Syracuse, their entire army was wiped out in Syracuse. Okay? Because they couldn't resupply their army.
Now, with all the recent events, I guess you could call them, that are going on right now, he made a follow-up video to that last one called the U.S.-Iran War, and he goes into even more detail talking about like Iran's terrain, the ratio to take over a place like Iran, right? And different ways that the U.S. may go about doing it.
The big question that people have is, first of all, are the Americans going to use ground troops?
I mean, according to our press secretary, it's not off the table. You know, it was off the table earlier, but as we progress into this, we've realized that some of you may die.
But it's a sacrifice I am willing to make.
Because the only way that you can defeat Iran is by using ground troops, okay? That's a big question we'll look at over the next few weeks. Will America send its army, 500,000, 2 million soldiers to topple the government? Okay, that's question number one. Question number two, nuclear weapons. If you're losing a war, would you choose to use nuclear weapons? Okay, that's another big question.
I mean, for most of us, I'd imagine the answer would be no. But it's not most of us who are in office right now. So, frankly, as much as I don't think option number two is even remotely on the table, I guess I didn't really think about ground troops being on the table a few weeks ago either. So
this situation is so dire that Europe, okay, specifically Germany, France, and Britain are talking about entering this war. And guess what? If that happens, it is possible that Russia and China will also enter this war on the side of the Iranians. This is World War III, okay?
wow, thanks, Professor. That's the type of news I wanted to hear. Seriously though, no, I mean he's on the right track. I think we got some Russia involvement. I wouldn't be surprised if China gets involved. I mean, by the time this video is fully edited and out, who knows really how much would have escalated by then, right? Now, once again, this isn't to encourage people to start speculating, right? Just making up their own wild fan theories about what might happen, right? This ain't Italia, but it really should encourage you to become more educated on this topic. Look into, things that are happening. I mean, I think that the worst thing that can happen, right, is knowing your friends and family that you get to see every day, and then slowly start seeing one or two of them just disappearing, right? Just going off to draft, or you being that person, right? I mean, as is, people that have families in active duty, right? It must suck having them need to go off overseas, especially to the Middle East, and fight in a war for billionaires, right? For money, right? That's not what I think our military, our soldiers should be dying in personally. But who am I to say? I guess my wallet isn't fat enough. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. This isn't something I'm going to be doing super regularly. I mean, my upload schedule is non-existent. I work a job. I'm going to school. If you like this, if you want to see more, let me know. And I'll see you later. Thank you.
For you cashing your checks. They say America first, but they mean America next in Washington. Washington.